Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the first round of the 2016 Scottish Formula Ford Championship, now in association with Beatsons. Later in the programme we're going to have a look at the Scottish Fiestas, but first up is the Formula Fords, and it's a big year for Formula Ford in Scotland. The Road to Indy prize is up for grabs. This championship, along with 16 other championships worldwide, has a ticket which will go to the winner at the end of the year. That will give them the opportunity to go to Laguna Seca in America, and the shootout and the chance of winning $200,000 towards the Star Mazda Championship in 2017. A huge prize, certainly the biggest prize we've ever had in Scottish motorsport, and the man who's kicked it off with the best possible chance so far is Jordan Gronkowski, which I've learned to pronounce his name correctly now. Jordan on pole position in the Van Diemen. Jordan struggled with this car. It's been a development thing for them. I think this is their second season with it. Jordan, I've just said you kind of struggled with this thing. It's a development, and I'm more surprised than anyone to see you on pole position in the wet.
Yeah, thanks for that vote of confidence, Joe.
No, but I know in the wet in particular, it was where you were struggling to find direction.
Well, a little bit, but we were on the pole once last year, and that was in the wet.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah. Sorry. Last year was very much a development year as we got used to the new car. I've always said there's a lot of potential in the car, and winter testings went well, qualifying obviously went well. Next bit's the hard bit, so we'll just see how that goes. Good luck, make it exciting. Thanks very much.
Let's move back to Neil McLennan. Neil was a real star last year in his first season of single-seater racing. Won a race last year. I'm going to sneak underneath here if I can. Neil, I know you're desperate to dominate this championship. I know you wanted pole position. First qualifying of the year hasn't gone your way, but it's second, you can still win from here.
Yeah, definitely wanting to win this year for the to get this Road to Indy championship. So qualifying this year, for the first qualifying this year so far, didn't go to plan, but you know it happens, and did a few changes for this first race. So we'll see how we get on, but hopefully we'll get on okay.
I'm sure you can turn it around.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Cheers, Joe.
There we go. I'll hand it to Richard, and he'll take us through the first Formula Ford race of the year.
Thanks, Joe. 0.2 of a second was the gap between Jordan Gronkowski and Neil McLennan. Jamie Thorburn is third from Sebastian Melrose. Then it's the two Matthews, Cowley and Chisholm. Neil Broom seventh from David Thorburn, Fraser Gray and Ross Howe. Next up, Stephen Barlow with Fergus McIntyre completing the grid. And it's a tad wet out there, which should make for some interesting racing. It's usually very good racing, wet or dry here at Knockhill. The Formula Fords always give us some superb action. Lights on here for round one. Longish wait, little bit of creeping which is kept in check, I've got to say, by Neil McLennan. And it's Jordan Gronkowski that leads in the Van Diemen from the ray of Neil McLennan. Matthew Cowley in the black and yellow car is also in a Van Diemen, but it's Jamie Thorburn in the ray. He's gone up into third place as Neil McLennan takes a wide line into Scotsman. Sees Thorburn coming up towards him. Matt Cowley still there in fourth place, so the lead quartet have all got off the line well. I think it's Sebastian Melrose in the red car who's running in fifth place. Then behind him it's going to be another red car of Matthew Chisholm, the defending classic champion. Jamie Thorburn looks up the inside line, Neil McLennan going wide, and that was to have a look at the outside of Jordan Gronkowski out front in the Van Diemen. Jordan third in the championship last year, second in 2014. This is exactly what we want to see. Three cars scrapping over the lead. McLennan to the outside line. This is a difficult corner to make it stick on the outside. McLennan just cedes that, so Gronkowski leads. Through they go. Sebastian Melrose is fifth. Matt Chisholm, Neil Broom, David Thorburn, Ross Howe, Fraser Gray and Stephen Barlow. But the race leaders coming back down the hill, with Gronkowski having a big challenge here from Neil McLennan. Race winner last year, Neil, runner-up in the championship to Adam Mackay. And Neil, the newcomers champion last year. He's got to be careful here because he's got Jamie Thorburn right behind him. And then Matthew Cowley as well. So these four pretty much engaged. But I've got to say, Jordan Gronkowski's made a very good start. Assured first couple of laps and goes towards Clark. Still well in lead position, opening up a bit of a gap, and Thorburn closer to McLennan. Through go the rest of the cars. Sebastian Melrose is running in fifth place, ahead of, I think, David Thorburn and then Matthew Chisholm. Well, place is looking relatively settled at the moment. Matthew Cowley back in fourth as we look at Jamie Thorburn in third place and looking for that podium. But Jordan Gronkowski is still the man out front and setting a good pace from Neil McLennan. Long championship, of course, to get that ticket for the Mazda Road to Indy. A mega prize, absolutely superb prize. And the championship, as you heard now, also sponsored by Beatson's Building Supplies. And they go under the Beatson's Bridge. Beatson's a long-term supporter of motor racing here in Scotland, and our grateful thanks to them for their support of this championship, helping young drivers to move up the ladder. Matthew Chisholm in 92, up ahead of Fraser Gray in the red Ray GR14. Ross Howe in black, about to be passed by Matthew Chisholm. Very neatly done move there by Matthew Chisholm. Through on the inside, the run up into Clark. Chisholm knows what he's doing around Knockhill. He's done a good few races, and that RF92, as we mentioned, running in the classic class. The only other car we've got in the classics this weekend is Neil Broom, and I haven't seen a great deal of Neil so far. So Matthew Chisholm perhaps on his way to a class win in the classics. Through goes the blue car of Stephen Barlow, and this is the view from the pit wall. Fair bit of spray for the drivers to have to deal with. So Chisholm from Howe, Fraser Gray in red, then Stephen Barlow in blue. 1998 spec Ray for Stephen Barlow as we look at the 2014 Ray chassis of Fraser Gray. So the three marks represented in this race: Van Diemen, the Norfolk-based mark; Ray, built in South London, and we've got the Swift mark as well. That's the second of the classic class cars, the Swift SC93 of Neil Broom. So Matthew Chisholm running at the moment in 7th place. Immediately ahead of him is David Thorburn. Stephen Barlow goes through shot in the number 30 car. And we go back to the race leader. Jordan Gronkowski has controlled this one superbly. He's got the fastest lap of the race as well. That was on lap 6 at half distance. There is Neil Broom in the Swift, who is still running. Neil's had some problems. He's actually a few laps adrift, but he's out on circuit. As Jordan Gronkowski here looking to open up the campaign with a win. Coming up towards the Stephen Barlow blue Ray. I think he may well pop a lap between himself and Stephen. There is Neil Broom just heading the second place man, Neil McLennan. The gap between the race leader and Neil McLennan in second position is very nearly 3 seconds. And Gronkowski, this has been a very good drive from Jordan from pole position. That's why qualifying is so important, particularly in these conditions. Checkered flag at the ready. Gronkowski is actually going to save Stephen Barlow having to do another lap in anger. Second place goes to Neil McLennan, 2.7 seconds down. Jamie Thorburn is third from Matthew Cowley, then Sebastian Melrose and David Thorburn. Classic class win for Matthew Chisholm. Ross Howe 8th from Fraser Gray, then Stephen Barlow. Fergus McIntyre in 11th. As you saw, Neil Broom did finish but not classified.
Jordan, well done. A great way to start the year. A win. To be honest, I have to admit, I kind of forgot about you for some reason in pre-season, thinking about the championship. I was kind of thinking Neil, I was thinking Adam. Apologies, I completely forgot. And what a great job you did. First round of the year, leading the championship.
Well, it's a bit early to be winning the championships, Joe, as you know. Yeah, it's been it's fantastic. I mean, it was such a hard year last year, a learning year, very much. And you know, it took us the winter to sort out the problems we had, and we addressed them. And winter testing went well, qualifying obviously this morning went well, and then obviously the race is it's fantastic. It's such a feeling. I have to do the usual thing and thank lots of people, because at the end of the day I'm the guy that drives the car, but there's so much more that goes into it. My dad obviously does the work of a whole team, so thanks to him. Our chassis partners, Medina Sport, fantastic Van Diemen chassis that they've helped us with. and also Scholar Engines for the engine. All my sponsors, who you can see on the car and the website, I wouldn't be here without them at all. And also family and friends as well. My final mention to my daughter Holly, who did say to me on Friday night, she's almost 2.
She talks now, does she? I remember she was only born when she was just born.
Yeah, no, she'll be 2 in May. She'll be 2 at the race meeting actually in May. And she said to me on Friday night before I go, "Daddy, please win the race."
And you did.
So Holly, this is for you.
Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Neil, you can't hide the disappointment no matter how much you try. And that's what it should be like. You want to win races. Not working for you in the wet conditions. Jordan absolutely flying in the Van Diemen as well. But still a good start to the year. 20 points in the bank.
Yeah, good start to the year. Once again, another wet race. So still trying to get our paces up in the wet. But yeah, 20 points in the bag and the car's in one piece. So
and another chance this afternoon. I don't think it's going to dry up. I think you're probably going to, maybe it'll dry up a little bit, but I don't think we're looking at a full dry surface today.
No, I don't think it's going to dry up. It might a little, but it's meant to stop raining soon. But as you say, I don't know if it will dry up yet, but see what it is. It is what it is as well. So it's the same for everyone, but no, just got to keep the car in one piece and bring it home.
Well done.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Jamie, a great start to the year, carrying on the momentum that you built at the end of last season there. You're quite a shy, quiet guy, but there's no shyness out on track there. The first lap really took the bull by the horns.
Yeah, I was going from it the first lap because I knew they had a bit more speed, so if I could get with them or split them, I would be able to stay with them, but unfortunately it didn't quite work. I thought I had Neil for a moment, but just outbraked me at the hairpin and I slotted back in behind, but definitely in race 2 I think I might.
Last weekend you were at Snetterton for the Super Series, I think they call it now?
Yeah, the British Super Series. We finished 2nd and 3rd in both races, so that was really good to get on the podium and just kind of want to keep these podiums taking over and collecting points in both championships and hopefully still be there at the end.
It's going in the right direction, well done.
Thank you very much.
Scottish Formula Ford Championship race number 2 about to head out on track, and as you can see the weather has completely changed from this morning. It's sunny and warm, although the track isn't actually bone dry. It's a dry-ish line, greasy in places, which is going to make it really tricky. Race 1 winner Jordan Gronkowski is now pronounced, starting back on pole position, and Neil McLennan really desperate for a win starting alongside him, so I'm sure they're going to give us plenty of action. I'll hand it to Richard for their final race of the day.
Thanks, Joe. It is Jordan Gronkowski on the front row of the grid, the winner of race 1, championship leader. Neil McLennan next, Jamie Thorburn, then Matthew Cowley, Sebastian Melrose and David Thorburn, Matthew Chisholm and Ross Howe, followed by Fraser Gray, Stephen Barlow 10th, Fergus McIntyre 11th, and then Neil Broom. So single file start here because of some oil on the outside of the track. Green flag is waved and Jordan Gronkowski's got a huge lead here. I'm surprised the others didn't really try and close up on the start. So Jordan looking to add another race win to his kind of difficult conditions, exactly as Joe described. You can see here, you can see the racing line because it's dry. To make a pass you're going to have to go offline, which is going to be onto the grease, and it's all been compounded with the oil which has come from the oil line you'll see from the hairpin up the main straight from the Scottish Saloon Sports Car race. Matthew Cowley going through shot, the black and yellow car, and Matthew, who first raced Formula Ford in December 2013 at Anglesey. Look at the line of oil that the marshals have done their best to treat. The organisers decided not to run the staggered start here because the drivers on the outside may well have had a disadvantage. So the race started as a rolling start, effectively a resumption of race number 1, which is what we have in terms of the grid positions anyway here at Knockhill Circuit. Qualifying determines the grid for race 1, and then race 2 starting grid based on the position of race 1. And that exactly there, the 25 car, Neil McLennan doing exactly what you're supposed to do, and that is just clip that marker. He didn't dislodge it. That was inch perfect driving by the chaser, who to my mind looks as if he's closing in now on Jordan Gronkowski. So Jordan had race number 1, had the fastest lap of the race as well, and we'll see whether he can hold on to it. But Neil McLennan seems to be a little bit of a man on a mission. Are we going to have 2 different winners in event number 1 of the 2016 season? Up the hill goes the 3rd place car of Jamie Thorburn, And we have got a challenge for the lead, and through on the inside into the lead goes Neil McLennan through the wet stuff or the damp stuff and takes the lead, and Jordan Gronkowski down to second. This is going to set up a race now. McLennan's starting to pull away already. Is Gronkowski unhappy with his car or his setup? Because look at that, there must be 3 car lengths between the two after barely a quarter of a lap in the lead for Neil McLennan. He closed up big time. He really seemed to get into the groove very, very quickly indeed. This is a 12-lap race, incidentally, once again. And Neil McLennan, if they finish like this, it will tie the championship lead going out of event 1. Whatever happens, it sets us up for a great year, because we know there are a lot of drivers on the grid that are capable of winning. But if we've seen 2 drivers at the first round take a win apiece, then I think we're going to be in for another thrilling year of Scottish Formula Ford racing. Sebastian Melrose up ahead of Matthew Cowley, ex-Rotax, junior Rotax Carter. Cowley celebrated his 18th birthday last year with a race in the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup at Brands Hatch, and it was my privilege to commentate on that race. Very handy young racer, and having a good race at the moment with Sebastian Melrose. Good to see Matthew here in Scotland, and I hope he's going to be a regular visitor to this championship. So through Clark we go. The race leader still Neil McLennan, and Sebastian Melrose here at the moment running in 4th position, and a fair way behind the top 3. So these are the battlers for the non-podium positions. The blue car of David Thorburn goes through. So Melrose and Cowley not really engaged in battle anymore. Sebastian Melrose comes from Bathgate, prepared by Graham Brunton Racing, who prepare a great deal of the cars here and offer an awful lot of help and advice to any drivers up here in Scotland and those maybe wanting to come into Formula Ford racing. And this is an ideal place to come, and you don't have to be. Many of the other Scottish championships have drivers coming from different parts of the UK to compete, and the reason they do that is A, because it's a friendly circuit, B, there's a lot of help and expertise here, and then C, you can come and race, learn your craft over the course of the season on a single track, which means you can develop your racecraft, learn the track, and then what you're worrying about is pedalling the car quickly rather than having to learn the tracks all the time. And then of course once you get comfortable with one track, you can go into a national championship, which is what many of the drivers do. So some very good reasons for racing, and the drivers that come from England and other places in the UK actually find that it's an easy commute. You can jump on a plane up to Edinburgh Airport, come up and race, or even drive up. So it's a no-brainer really for coming up and racing here. Neil Broom was going through at the head of that shot, up ahead of Ross Howe. And meanwhile, we've got a scrap on for 2nd position now, so Jamie Thorburn putting pressure on Jordan Gronkowski, who doesn't look overly happy. Thorburns going to go down the inside line, again going onto the wet line. He's braving it out, and can he go through? Gronkowski's seen him. Good clean racing, absolutely fair, nothing wrong with that at all. There's the race leader Neil McLennan in white, up and over the hill. Jamie Thorburn into 2nd, Jordan Gronkowski is 3rd, and across the line they go once again. Now can Jordan fight back? So from 1st to 3rd position, this will cede the championship lead to Neil McLennan if it finishes like this. So McLennan will lead the championship, Gronkowski will be 2nd, Jamie Thorburn in 3rd, Matthew Cowley at the moment will be 4th in the standings. Of course this is all a little bit premature because they've got to take the flag. We've got Newcomers Championship and Classic Class Championship to consider as well. Matthew Chisholm's defence looks like it's going to get underway with 2 wins. As we look at car number 22, that's Fergus McIntyre, Edinburgh-based driver in the 2005 built Ray, up ahead of Stephen Barlow. Driving standards flag going out for somebody. Not seeing any time penalties at the moment, but the black and white flag you can see on the gantry there. So here comes 2nd and 3rd position once again. So Jamie Thorburn still being chased by Jordan Gronkowski. Neil McLennan with the fastest lap of the race, which is a 57.6. So they've got well under the minute. The lap times 4 seconds, actually, beg your pardon, more than that. It's 6 seconds quicker than race number 1, and the average going up from 72 miles an hour to very nearly 80 miles per hour average around here. And McLennan looks like he's going to bag the fastest lap of the race. So McLennan closing down on Fergus McIntyre's car, and pulls out of the slipstream. He's going to have a look up the inside. Second and third go through too. But we're on the last lap. McIntyre now being caught by Jamie Thorburn, and Jordan Gronkowski, as you can see, not that far away now in third place. But the checkered flag being readied for Neil McLennan, who wins his first race of the year. McLennan takes it. It's a win for him. Fraser Gray crosses the line in red. There's second place for Jamie Thorburn, who holds off Jordan Gronkowski to the flag. Sebastian Melrose is going to take fourth position. Going through there was Ross Howe, who's classified in 12th, and we'll have a look at the positions for you. Win and fastest lap, Neil McLennan. Jamie Thorburn second from Jordan Gronkowski. Sebastian Melrose, then Matthew Cowley and Matthew Chisholm. Neil Broom in 7th from David Thorburn. Then Fraser Gray, Fergus McIntyre, Stephen Barlow and Ross Howe. All of the drivers finishing the race. Fastest lap, Neil McLennan.
Neil, that's the first time I've seen you properly smile. That's the first non-fake smile that I've seen from you since I saw you when you turned up on Thursday.
Yeah, just absolutely delighted with that race. I'm so glad it dried up. I've been so lucky with the weather.
With the delay, with the oil before the race, I knew that you'd be loving it because it was drying the whole time.
Yeah, with the delay, I was just delighted because I knew it wasn't going to rain again. Just tell by the sky, and it was getting warmer and warmer, and the track was drying. And when they said we're going to do a single file start, that made it even better. But luckily, I kind of messed up the start. But no, we got there and we got them back. And once I passed Jordan, just kept the head down and just went for it. But just can't thank the team enough for all the work they've done over this weekend, and the Kyrgios as well. Just all the amazing work that they've done. It's been great.
And you go back up the road with the championship lead.
Yeah, delighted, absolutely delighted.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Jamie, transforming into a pro racer out there. Really good drive against Jordan there as well. I thought you were just going to settle for third, but you're not. You keep pushing that second place now. Great result.
Yeah, thank you very much. I could see that I was catching him, and then every lap I was catching him more and more and more, and then I got behind him and I thought I could get him into Duffus first corner, but I decided to stay behind him, and then at the hairpin he left just enough room for my car, and I managed to squeeze through just on the wet bit, completely sideways, but worked.
That's what it needs to be.
Yeah, and then we caught the back markers with a couple laps to go, and I thought he was going to get back past me because we kept on catching him at really bad points on the track, but luckily I managed to just defend and hold on to second.
You could be the dark horse for this championship.
Maybe, see how it goes. Just want to collect points at the moment, and then hopefully we'll still be in it at the end.
Well done, great weekend.
Thank you very much.
Jordan, third place on this occasion. You fought hard, didn't seem to have the pace when it dried up, and the race, they had too much speed.
Yeah, couldn't live with those guys at all. We weren't massively off where we should have been with setup, but no, it's as if they ignored all the slippery bits, and I couldn't. So I think we got as much out of the package as we could have, and yeah, it's still a podium, still a good haul of points, and it's a good day overall.
It was quite significant, the battle for second with Jamie, because it was championship lead was obviously in that with Neil away at the front. Did you know that?
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, first meeting. I mean, you know,
it's nice to go away with it, though.
Of course it is, and you'd rather have it than not. But we don't have it at this occasion. But we'll try our best to get it back next time.
Overall, a good weekend.
Overall, a very good weekend. Very good start to the year.
Well done.
Thanks.